It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hello, model citizens. Welcome to Humanity Junction. Tonight, we're going to do a little update on what I have been working on the layout and talk about something that I'm applying for, or at least to try putting together information for. Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I would have thought that I would have had an unboxing tonight because I did go to the Edison train show this weekend. But the best unboxing I guess I have is this DVD that I picked up. Came home with the DVD, realized I didn't have a DVD player anymore. We're not sure what happened to it. So I ended up having to go buy a DVD player just to watch the DVD. So what was a cheap DVD ended up turning into a whole thing. Andrew, Mr. Victovid, thank you so much for the super chat. Really do appreciate it. Let's see who else is joining us tonight. We've got at the top of the list, because he's got a space at the front of his channel name, we got Andy from Estee Pandy Projects. We've got Adam Cruz digging himself out of some snow. We got Barry Olson in the house. Cameron from Caboose 121. Roy Hardwick, Containerman 68 is here. Dave P from DES Media Productions. Derek Alexander, Don Head, Frank, Mr. Steeler Fan 820, Jeff the Railroad Enthusiast, Jim Tedesco joining us, Joe Rader in the Black Rock Central Railroad, John Train BFGR, RailServe John is here. We've got Dwight from the Curly Express, Corey's here, Larry K joining us, Lynn McCurdy in the High Desert Modular Model Railroad Club, who's apparently not setting up a Christmas tree. We've got Andrew from Mr. Pictovid, who is setting up a Christmas tree. Norm Miller's in the house. Norman Rowe is joining us. We've got Rusty from Possum Bayou. Ron Moen is here. John from Schuylkill River Valley. Thomas Split Rock from the Twin Cities Division podcast, The Crossing Gate. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go check that out. Steve 87 PSAP, the Mom and Son Train Rail fans are here. Tim D's in the house, and tonight, the man that's at the end of the list that everybody knows as Steven is Wigwag Workshop. We did have a couple people sneaking in, and I don't know how this guy sneaks in. As big as he is, you think he would hit his head on the doorway on the way. And we've got Rick from Fulton Bailey Model Railroads here. Looks like Derail Daryl joined us as well. John Knotful in the house. Let's see. I hope the CNNW Mondavi line is here as well. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. I hope people are having a good Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It is going to be a long week this week. I am actually heading off to Chicago tomorrow morning. I am coming back from Chicago tomorrow afternoon. I've got a meeting that I need to attend out there, and then all kinds of excitement. I'm actually going to my first ever op session, and I'm actually very nervous about it. I'm not sure why I'm so nervous about it, but it's a pretty exciting thing. It's a big, huge layout, and I'm pretty new to ops, and I guess that kind of takes us to the layout. I think some people know we've been hanging out on Discord. I've got a Discord server. We've got a voice channel in the Discord server, and we've been hanging out and just modeling together. And it's turned out to be the Discord voice channel hangout is what I've always kind of wanted Modeling Monday to be. It's just that sort of, get together, hang out, model, talk about whatever. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Steve saying, Heath, you should not be nervous. The guys holding the op session, now they should be nervous. Where is the DePlane shop in Chicago? Is it actually in Chicago? I'm going to be very much downtown without any car or anything. High Plains Drifter, I probably missed you because you were hiding outside the door when I was reading everybody's name. You were being the nice guy, holding the door, and I missed it. I love you guys are talking about Betamax. Used to have a Betamax player. I used to have a Laserdisc player as well, so I am very, very familiar with those devices. For whatever reason, we decided to get Betamax instead of VHS, and op session starts at 11 and goes to about 4:30. The layout. Let me actually. I don't think it's online, right? So what I'm doing is I'm going to this website right here. It's a pretty good website if you want to find various layouts and stuff in the area. Just select your state. Now, not every layout's in here, obviously, just people that want to put their layouts in there. For example, if you scroll down in New York, there's this guy, Riverside Transfer Layout, and he's got some photos and stuff of his layout there as well. Interesting layout in New York. But the layout I am going to is the Delaware and Susquehanna. The DNS is a proto-freelance layout loosely based on the Lehigh Gorge area in Pennsylvania. The railroad is centered between Wilkes-Barre and Allentown, with each city having a large classification yard. So it's now NCE. It's no longer CVT. He upgraded it to NCE. It takes 10 to 14 people, and he's modeling the modern era. So he calls out 2020 here. So yeah, modern. Des Plaines, Illinois is outside O'Hare, about 7 miles north. I'm actually flying in and out of Midway because I wanted nothing to go I didn't want anything to do with O'Hare Airport. So this is the website, operating sessions. Just drop the link in the chat for people, so you can check that out if you would like. Betamax was better tech, and I think that's why we did go with it. It just unfortunately didn't, you know. So yeah, the Museum of History there's some cool museums in Chicago. I'm streaming tonight, so I didn't fly out tonight because I wanted to stream tonight. I know. So I'm flying out early tomorrow, and then I got some stuff on Friday that I just needed to get back early for. Container Rents' ops is easy. Just get familiar with the controls and the layout, turnouts, and car numbers. Yeah, I mean, with the size of this layout, he's got a 12-page introductory to his layout it's fantastic, but it's also intimidating, and it's that it's my first one. Steve Childers, it's past your bedtime. What are you doing here? But I am excited about it. I think it's a good thing. The first op session's from 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Arrive around 10:30 or so. Big layout in his basement, and gonna hang out and have some fun. So this weekend, I headed to a place called Edison. And the reason I went to Edison is that I really wanted to finish laying the track on the peninsula here. And unfortunately, what are you guys asking? Ops is on Sunday, actually. It's December 2nd. Yeah, Derek, no, he already said don't worry about it. He's going to pair me up with somebody somebody advanced. Andy actually has a really cool video out of a Civil War layout that he just operated on. So 1860s. It's a really neat video. Not a style of layout at all. Adam, are you asking for the operating sessions link? I'm guessing in Discord, or are you asking me to post the link to Discord? But so anyway, so I didn't have this turnout right here. I could have ordered it. I could have waited forever for it to come. I didn't really want to wait, so I went to the Edison Train Show, and that's where I bought that DVD. What else did I get? I got a HO scale circus locomotive. I got this flat car. We've been talking about idler or reacher cars, and this one was $10. The guy was selling it, out of his collection. It's kind of pre-weathered and everything like that, so I thought it would make a nice reacher car, so I kind of got that sitting up here. I just learned this, so I apologize if everyone knows this, but if you don't know, a reacher car is essentially what allows you to push the cars onto the car float without the locomotive having to go out onto the car float. So that's, there's one of them. I'll probably get a second one, I think, but right now I just have one of them. The other thing I picked up, and he is not here tonight, but I saw this, which is the, let's see if it'll focus on it. There we go. Cotton Belt Blue Streak. If you don't know, the Blue Streak Fast Freight Cotton Belt cars, these are what Jason the Train Freak is collecting in HO scale. It's kind of like, as far as I understand it, the Blue Streak Fast Freight is kind of like the New York Central Pacemaker, and you guys have probably seen that I do really like the those Pacemaker cars. So I spent some time getting things wired up. There are wires that basically go from, you know, the shelf part of the layout to the part of the layout that folds down. So this part of the layout does, you know, does fold down. So it will go, oh, out of the way. And of course my transfer bridge is falling off. So I had to figure out how to get wires to it and everything. There's a frog juicer mounted to this. I got a DCC distribution board. There is a switch right here on this side. Let's actually see if I go to this, we can maybe see it a little bit better. There's a switch right there, and let's make this stop. There's a switch right here in a little tab. So when I turn this on and I close it down, it actually turns off the power to that section as well as to the track that feeds that section. So trying to avoid dropping stuff on the floor as much as possible, but you know me, I can only keep things off the floor so much. Yeah, it's actually not the first one that I have. Somewhere up here I actually do have a second one. I think Jason's probably bought all of the cotton belt cars up in his area, but if you come up to my area, there seems to be a whole bunch of them. So maybe I'll be able to convince Jason to come up here and buy some cars. Corey says, Heath, make sure you eat before you land because Chicago food sucks. Yeah, I won't be eating any Chicago pizza, but yeah. Norman, I was actually looking at this the other day, and I realized the car float that I have is, I think, you know, what this is all designed around, I think is thinner than the N-Scale Architect car float, so I don't think I'll be able to use it. But the guy that did the 3D printing STL files for this has updated the file since this was printed, so I might try and get another 1 or 2 car floats printed out as well. Kind of use them as like a transfer cassette of types. I can fit about 8 box cars on that thing. Yeah, I'm a smurf. I should turn on, let's see, Ziggy, turn on bright. We'll get some more lights coming on, get rid of a little bit of that blue. So Russ says, what is that nightlight panel for? That's a great question. So let's, what am I looking for? So the layout is on right now, but the track power is not on. So what those nightlight buttons are for is, yes, this is a DCC layout, but those are essentially my my various blocks. So when I turn on the track power, you can see that these LEDs along the bottom show that power is coming to the switch, but then only the ones that are actually on that are showing the power there are actually on. So you can see like now, like this peninsula is actually on. When it closes down, it'll hit that and turn it off. So I've got the 8 blocks for the yard, and then the 1 for the peninsula, and then got six of them over to my side for the staging tracks, and there's 3 over here for the yard. You know, it's just, with all the sound locomotives and stuff, sometimes it's just easier to turn off a section of the layout than it is to do something else, you know, having to turn all the sound off or whatever. So everything's just set up. What I got right now, you can see these colored pins right here. So let's see, if I turn this way just a tiny bit, you can see like here's this little blue pin, and you can see there's the blue pin there. So I know that this is the power for this track here. And I've got little pins, I don't know, you can't really see that one, but there's a purple one here, there's a dark blue one here, there's a green one here, and that just sort of shows where all the track sections are and helps me sort of figure it all out, figure out what I'm gonna do. I have updated the layout I still need to, the next step is really figuring out what I want to call all these different areas and start getting stuff into some sort of, figure out some ops type of thing. And that's, I guess, the big reason I'm really excited about going to this ops session this weekend, is to get more experience about what like operations can kind of be on, you know, on a layout. So I'm kind of, you know, I'm trying. Spoiler says he's jealous of my electrical organization. Let's actually see, if you want to see some organization, let me see if I can do this without making everybody too nauseous. One thing I do want to do is, because the peninsula needs to kind of like line up right to get across here, I do need to sort of, I need to put something on here so that I know what level is. But let's see if we can do this. So I'm lowering one of the cameras, and let's see, how do I do this? I'm going to try and show you the underneath of this module, so you can kind of get a little bit of a sense what I used for how the frog juicer is laid out and stuff like that. So let's see if this works. Let's see if you can see this stuff. Yeah, so you can kind of see it there. So this big thing here, which way? Oh, this is the frog juicer here. It's a Tam Valley hex frog juicer. This is my DCC distribution. So the you know, the DCC line comes in from here, goes across and to my DCC block. These are all going out to all the different feeder wires and stuff like that. And then this is the frog juicer, where there's only two, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's five turnouts on here that the frog juicer's connected to. I may end up connecting the sixth one up there to it. It all depends. I've got about 18 more switches that theoretically I can add frog juicers to, but yeah, so that's what that section looks like. I won't say, like, some of the other sections are definitely not as neat as that. I can show you a picture of kind of where all the control stuff is. That is definitely not nearly as neat as everything else. I'm trying to find the picture right now. I'm looking through these pictures, and I'll actually talk about the. Here we go. So here is. So this is my sort of control area. This is under the time saver over there. Got a DCC Specialties PSSX, and it's actually been giving me some trouble, which I was hoping I wouldn't be having, but I am having. It's weird. I don't have any problems where the frog juicers are, but where the frog juicers aren't, every time I run over a switch, I seem to trip. Corey says I joke around and blame, but that is nice and neat looking electrical work, Heath. I love the blame Heath sort of thing, because to me it's more about, like, you know, if something's going wrong, come to me. I could probably help you solve it, because it's very likely I've made the mistake at least 600 times. And because of that, I can probably help fix it. Plumber says he's terrible at cable management. I hope he's better at running plumbing pipes than he is with his wiring. Steve says he flunked wire management, entirely too organized. Cameron says, I see something on that plan I thought you were waiting for a couple of years for. It's on the plan. I know what you're referring to. It's on the plan. It's not built. It's on the plan. Frank, thanks so much. 5628, hit the likes. Don't make me turn the bot on. I'll turn the bot on again so that people, so that it can see when you're hitting the like button or not. Heath does like to have all of his ducks in his row. I do. The section crew should do a wire mismanagement section to go with the workbench section. That's actually a very good idea about that. Frank is saying, Heath, what mic is that lapel mic? This is the Rode Wireless Go 2. So it comes with one receiver and two transmitters. Obviously, I just use the one, but if somebody comes over, I have a second one for them. So Cameron says people are waiting for the bot, and you know it. Yeah, some people complain and hate the bot, and other people, like the bot. So I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say about it all. But to address the elephant in the room, Cameron was talking about this continuous loop section that I've added here. Right now, the layout is this. The staging yard just ends just off to my right here. It just ends right there at the corner of my desk. The fantasy, the dream, I'm not sure. I don't know. The idea is to extend two lines behind the desk over to the corner of the wall over here, and basically just be able to, store some extra trains there. But I've talked about this before on the channel. One of the things I really like is the Hellgate Bridge. And the idea would be is that I would come out from this side of the desk over here, and I would kind of go around the door because I don't want to create a situation where I can't open the door when the drop down is in, because the door swings in. So the idea would be is this would be a Hellgate Bridge, and I'd figure out some way to support it or something like that, but it would be, this thing that would make the continuous loop. It's just a dream. I keep forgetting to turn it off, and I keep showing it to people. It has changed. I saw somebody says it's changed since last time. The only real major change is the peninsula. I was not happy with the previous one. This one I'm significantly happier with. But let's take a second. What I do want to do is we're going to switch directions. Before I switch directions, let's just sponsors, thank yous. Mini Prince is doing a contest. You have until December 1st-ish to enter. It's another one of his peanut butter top contests. So check that out and see about entering that. Iron Planet Hobbies, PTF. These are all PTF flats back here with the lights flashing. Great supporters of the channel, as well as everyone just that comes and watches it and hits the thumbs up, and it's really great, having everybody involved. So let me run the thank you. We'll shift directions a little bit, and we're going to talk about now that I've got this wired up. We'll talk about why I wired it up and what's coming up.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity.
So Container Man mentions attaching the track to the back of the door and just having it, open and close with the door. This is also my office, and I'm in here a lot, so I come in and out a lot. I've thought about trying to have it connect to the door, and I just think it's better for me if it's not connected. It's just I like the idea of having the Hellgate Bridge. I like the idea of it kind of being out in the room. Yeah, the idea of a duck under isn't great, but eventually I want to have 2 people over to operate this layout, and I don't want to have to essentially shut down the layout for people to get in and out. So yeah. Okay, so next topic. What are we talking about? Why did I what am I doing? So I am going towards operations. That's a big part of it. If we have some time, I may try and run that switcher out over into this yard just so that I can prove that, yes, things actually work, so people don't think it's just all smoke and mirrors back here. But what I'm working on is Container Man Rick found his way in here, and Rick found a way to fit. So if Rick can fit, anybody can fit. Yeah, I don't think I'm going over the door. I already got trains up over the door. I don't think I'm going to do that. But so my website. If you go to my website, this is my website. It's got a collection of my stuff. It's got a whole write-up on the time saver switching puzzle over here. It's got the links to my video gallery. It's got, of course, my merch store. And I keep showing this off, but I like my new mug because it's got the Human City logo, but it also has the Riverside Transfer logos on it. So I'm kind of, anyway. You can sign up for the email list on here. You can find out about all the channel sponsors. But the new part to the website is I am compiling information to apply for the NMRA Achievement Program, the Model Railroad Engineer Electrical. So people are asking who designed the RT logo. The RT logo was a little bit of a collaboration design. Loco Joe, also known as Late Night Model Railroad, actually created the graphic, like actually did the computer work. But Roy Eltham, myself, a couple other people, basically in Discord. It was kind of a group effort in Discord to come up with that, and we got to that. And actually, if you haven't seen it yet, go over to Cameron from Caboose 121's channel. He actually painted a locomotive with the Riverside Transfer colors and logo on it in N scale, a switcher, VO 1000, and the thing just looks fantastic. It looks absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I don't have zippered hoodies, but where is it? There you go. I do have a hoodie, but I don't have a zippered hoodie. I don't know. Zippered hoodies, the logo's real small, but anyway, so check out Cameron's channel if someone wants to. Cameron, if you want to post the link to that video you made of the locomotive you made, feel free to do that. But so the NMRA Advanced Achievement Program is a program within the NMRA where they recognize people that have basically you've filled out a checklist of things that you're recognized as completing. It's not a contest. You're only, doing things to kind of try and make yourself, better. Oh, it's an MP15, not a VO1000. Oh, oops. Well, there you go. Who made the RT logo camera ready so you can create swag? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but we just made it. We just made it. So, speaking about Loco Joe, this is Loco Joe, Late Night Model Railroad. He's the one that kind of he's the one that did the actual work on the graphics. So apparently he knew we were talking about him. So I have not done the golden spike. I've got a couple problems that prevent me from being able to get the golden spike, but I can get the electrical. So the thing is that I want to get the Achievement Program electrical because I can, and I can't get the golden spike. The golden spike requires 8 square feet of a scenic railroad, and I don't plan on scenicking this until at least 6 months or so. Once I want to run it for a little bit, operate on it for a little bit. So I won't be able to get the golden spike. But the Model Railroad Engineer Electrical doesn't require scenery. It requires that your railroad essentially operates. So that's why I'm doing it. Pedro's going for his golden spike. Jason the Train Freak just got his golden spike. T-track modules do count. I only have 1.5 of them that have scenery on them. So, yep. Yeah, Container Man, you need to build a layout already. Joey, we were talking about, I showed the mug with the RT graphic. We were just talking about the graphic, and yeah. Dennis, are you talking about a golden spike, like a spike actually painted gold, or are you talking about the NMRA's golden spike? We can actually go. Let's see if I can find it. Achievement Program. I don't know where the golden spike is under here. Master Model Railroader. Here we go. Golden Spike Award. Oh, well, it's down at the bottom of this page. So I'll post this in the chat. You can go here and download the golden spike requirements. Off the top of my head, it requires about 8 square feet of scenic and structured layout. It requires 6 pieces of rolling stock that are slightly more detailed. Like, they can't be straight out of the box. You got to do a little bit of you got to do a little bit more, like put some grab irons, weather it, or something like that. There's a couple other things that I'm forgetting right now, but essentially it's that kind of stuff. Yeah, Dennis, they don't give you an actual golden spike. They give you a piece of paper. Actually, I don't even know if you get a piece of paper or not. You might just get emailed something at this point, but I'm not really sure. So my goal is to get this Model Railroad Engineer Electrical, and I thought it would be interesting, maybe or whatnot, to kind of post my stuff on the website. I am finding as I collect my stuff and research my stuff that there's not a lot of information out there that it explains like the details of it. Some parts of the language are very vague, and they're kind of vague on purpose. But the problem is, by being vague, you don't really know. You don't really know what fits and what doesn't until you submit it and find out whether it fits or not. So I thought it'd be interesting to kind of post this up and kind of go through it and whatnot and so forth. Somebody just said, and now I can't find it. Oh, Norman Rose says, I believe you get a certificate. So there you go. I just want to know if 8 square feet is linear or 2 pieces of plywood together. It can be, plywood, plywood together. It can be 8 feet by 1 foot. It could be 4 feet by 2 feet. It could be 3 feet by whatever that would be to make up 8 feet. It can be multiple scales. You could have 2 feet in one scale and 4 feet in another scale. And oh, I was about to say, oh, great. And then I saw why you're going. So. Dennis, you sure could. Dennis, are you going to get the golden spike? Derek says if you go to the local region guys, they will tell you and help you. And this is where this would be where I get into my rant. I've reached out to my local guy. He hasn't responded yet. I'm going to give him another 24 hours or so, and then if he doesn't respond, I'm gonna figure out who I can go to next. I have not had a lot of success with my local division. I have been very welcomed by other divisions and other areas of the NMRA. My local division, I have just yeah. So okay, so you don't need to be finished. You just need to show proficiency in it, right? So let's go through this really quickly, and then I'll see if I can actually get a train to run, and then I got to go sleep because I do got to wake up at some point to go to Chicago. But so NMRA Achievement Electrical Engineer, if you want to follow along. NMRA AP Electrical. This is my page on my website. You can just go there. That was helpful. I'm trying. It's the NMRA is such an easy target. The NMRA has been very vocal about not wanting. The NMRA has made its position clear in years past. There is now a new group of people that are trying to change things. I'm trying to be more positive about stuff. Sometimes it's harder than other things. Yeah, so Dennis, that's one of my gripes with the program. Is like, I think my remote operated time saver that they should just give me, some of the AP certificates. But we'll go through this and I'll show you why I'm gonna have to jump through a couple hoops to get this electrical cert, but not a lot of hoops. So there's 6 sections. The 6th section is really nothing. They know how I feel. I've told them. Gordy's been on the channel. Gordy's been interviewed on the channel. They are very aware. They're very aware. But so section 1, construct and demonstrate on your own, someone else's layout or club layout, the satisfactory operation of an electrical control system on a model railroad capable of simultaneous and independent control of 2 mainline trains in either direction and containing at least. So if you've got a DCC layout, this first sort of statement is kind of, I think, silly, but this was written in the days of DC and it hasn't been updated. So it is what it is. If DC power, you need 5 blocks, so I don't have to worry about that. If DCC, TMCC, or other power, gap switches and phases for troubleshooting. So in this first picture, you can see I do have gaps and blocks and all that kind of stuff. So the thing that I'm missing and the thing that frustrates me to no end, and I'm going to try not to get into a huge rant about it, is this right here. It's the reverse loop. There is no way around it, but in order to get the AP certificate for electrical, you have to have either a reverse loop, a turntable, a transfer table or something else. I understand why understanding how to wire a reverse loop is important. I understand that knowing about polarity and that kind of stuff is important. I feel like my layout shows that I understand that without needing to do a reverse loop. So the one hoop I'm going to have to jump through, and I am trying to, so DBE Tech, if you have a point-to-point layout, you would need to have a turntable on it. You cannot pass the electrical without some method of turning a locomotive around. So what I'm hoping to do is basically this. I'm going to drop this on the floor. I'm going to hook up a DC transformer. I'm going to put a DC loco in the little orange section on the bottom. I'll start it off around the loop. When it's going around the loop, I'll flip the double pull, double throw switch so that it comes back around onto the little orange section, and I'll show that I know how to switch polarity using a double pull switch. I think it's kind of silly that I have to jump through that hoop, but it's the hoop I have to jump through to get it. The rest of the stuff's pretty straightforward, right? You need siding, passing siding. I have 2 of them on my layout, so I have that here. The one thing I don't have that I'm going to add to this is I'll add videos of the train actually operating on the layout, because that's one of the things they want to see. Is that it actually operates. Yeah, so one of the jokes about the AP program is that the AP program isn't as much about modeling as it is about willing to jump through the hoops and check off the check marks, on the paper. And I get it. It will make you a better modeler. If I get out of my comfort zone and create a reverse loop, that, somehow that magically makes me a better modeler. Anyway, so passing siding, you need an engine facility area, which I have. You need a yard with more than 3 tracks, which I have. And then there's an other category. So you need to show circuit protection, which I have with the PSSX. And then for the other category, I just took a picture of the alpha meter, the motorman, and all of the throttles as just sort of like a little extra. Thomas says, the silly hoop of that double throw reverse section looks simple. The big picture is that people design layouts with reverse loops they don't even notice. And I know, and that's why I get that that's why they want it as a part of the AP, but anybody that knows me or that's talked to me for 5 minutes know that I can probably handle wiring a reverse loop. If somebody can wire an electrofrog and a unifrog on the same layout, I think they can wire up a reverse loop. Dennis says, with the PSX AR, you have to configure trip current in the CVs. I found that way more challenging than a DP DT switch. 100%. But that's partly why I'm going to do it. That's partly why I'm going to do it with a double pull, double throw switch. It's my way of complying with their rules, but doing it like being a little bit cheeky about it. So, yeah. Section 3, wire and demonstrate the electrical operation. It'll work. It'll work with the double pull, double throw switch. Wire and demonstrate the electrical operation of at least 3 of the following track items. So a turnout is one of them. I got a bunch of turnouts. So on the list of requirements, it says a single slip switch. It doesn't have double slip switches. I have a double slip. Hopefully they'll accept the double slip. So Pedro, this is the other thing, right? Is my division has their meetings in such a ridiculous place that I can't get to them. I highly doubt anybody is going to come here to review my layout to give me the thing. So I am guessing that I'm going to, this is actually funny, Derek. That's actually good. So I am going to hopefully be able to do it over Zoom. That's what I'm hoping. But yeah, if the guy wants to come over here, that's fine with me. He can come over here and hang out. Like I've got no problem with that. But I'm hoping to just do it over Zoom and be done with it. Is kind of what I'm hoping. So here's the double slip. Here's the three-way turnout. And this is one of the things, the three-way turnout on this side over by my staging yard yeah, I could do that, Joey. That's true. I could put the double slip under other. The three-way by the staging yard, which has a frog juicer on it, works extremely well. The three-way over here with the switchers get caught up on the frogs on this side, so I think I definitely need to get a frog juicer on that guy over there. But so there's the three-way. Section 3, wire and demonstrate. So section 2 is easy, theoretically, right? And it's designed to be easy, right? It's just kind of show some qualification. Section 3, wire and demonstrate the satisfactory electrical option of at least 3 of the following features. This one is, oh yeah, that's a good idea, Derek, right? I should just have the AP guy remotely operate my layout. This one's a little harder for me because these are written for a different time. For example, like high frequency lighting, electronic throttle. You know, they're not really written for now, so you've got to kind of you do kind of need to interpret it, and I'm hoping that my AP person isn't that difficult about certain stuff. But so electrical turnout position indication on a control panel or at trackside for a minimum of 4 turnouts. So on the time saver, I've got dwarf signals on my 6 turnouts. So I'm hoping that will comply with this, and I'm assuming it would. Design installation of operation of an animated mechanical and or electrical displays. I'm hoping, and I don't know for sure, but I'm hoping that the PTF Designs flats with the LEDs in them are going to qualify. I'm not completely sure if this is going to qualify for number 12 or not. I'm hoping it might. I have some other options if it doesn't. Yeah, so command control receiver decoder install. What's funny about that is you can't just do a drop-in decoder install. So you have to, which it's not impossible to do, but you have to find a locomotive that doesn't receive a drop-in decoder at this point. So you need to find a locomotive that is not DCC ready to install a decoder to get the credit for that. So the other, so number 13 is design, installation, and operation of a mechanical or electrical layout lighting designs. I've got, you know, RGB lighting on the layout, so I'm hoping that qualifies for number 13. So there, you know, there's a bunch of them. I can finagle some of these if I need to. Like this one here says computer to railroad interface. If I have to, I'll go to my blue bin and I'll pull out a USB cable, because that is a computer to railroad interface, is a USB cable. So yeah, Steve, do I have to send it back, or are you just trying to get me to install? Just trying to get me to install the decoder. Yeah, and I do have some blue box locomotives and stuff. But yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of, it's frustrating to me because, yeah, anyway. No, so JMRI would fall under, I thought JMRI would fall under something else. Computerized operation or computerized block detection or one of these other ones. But computer to railroad interface is a USB cable, right? Between my computer and my railroad, all there is a USB cable. But so Lauren Hertz is saying, if something fails requirements, are you told which ones? So the way this is theoretically supposed to work is that the AP person for my division is supposed to work with me on determining what I should submit. And the first step of this is working with them and having them sign off on it. My understanding is that 99% of the time, if your local AP person signs off on your certificate, then you'll be good for the rest of the sign-offs. So I really just have to convince one person. Thomas, I know, but I get that. But the way this is written, I could show them a USB cable. But I get it. You can remotely operate my time saver, right? So I've got computer to railroad interface. I'll add it if I need to. Yeah, so now people are going to start sending me their local. I would not advise sending me your locomotives for decoder installs. I'm just going to say that. I love that. This Friday. I might be able to do it this Friday. I won't have the reverse loop, though. Well, I can maybe get the reverse loop set up. Reverse loop will take me not very long to set up. I'm just going to throw it on the ground. Okay, so that's the 3 that I have here. What I might do is I'll just add the computer to railroad interface and take a picture of my remote interface or something just to have it there. But so section 4 is where I have to do a lot of work. And the reason I have to do a lot of work is because even though I've already done all the work in AnyRail and what like that, they require you to do things like show all your feeders and show all your gaps and all that kind of stuff. And I just haven't, I've shown the sections, but I haven't marked all the feeders and everything. So I got to go back. I got to mark all the feeders. I've got to show speed and direction control. So I think I have to like draw a throttle on it or something like that. I have to show the power supplies. So I guess I got to draw like where the command station is. So like I need to add stuff to this drawing. Of course they do, Split Rock. Were you here when I showed the wiring under the, were you here when I showed the wiring underneath the, what is this thing called again? Plumber. What's that thing behind me called? Yeah, so here's my DCC distribution, right here, here, and then there's the frog juicer. So, that's just for here. For the main part of the layout, I've got a couple of distribution blocks. For the main part of the layout, I've got 2 distribution blocks here. I've got another distribution block over here. So I've got 2 DCC bus runs. I have one DCC bus run that comes off of the motorman, and then I have another DCC bus run that is not on the motorman. So it's kind of, yeah, so they want to see the terminal strips for each block. They want to see the DCC command station, not where it is on the layout plan. Just mark the feeders on the plan. I've got like 600 feeders on this stupid layout, but yeah. I know it's a lot of work. In order to change things for the better, sometimes you have to get your foot in the door. The only real way to get my foot in the door with the NMRA is to play some of their little games and jump through their little hoops. So I'm hoping that jumping through a couple of these hoops is going to help. Split Rack says just show one set of feeders for each block. Oh, if I can do that, that's easier. I've just, like in my yard, right? It's like every yard track has feeders. Even though it's all on the same block, everything has. Exactly. I'm gonna complain about it the whole darn way. Okay, so I've got work to do here. The other thing that I have to do work on is, so you have to prepare schematic drawings, identifying the wires and components of the 6 items in requirements 2 and 3, right? So no. So I'm not going to become an MMR. There's no way for me to become an MMR. I have no interest in scratch building rolling stock. I have no interest in scratch building locomotives. I have no interest in certain aspects of the modeling. So like I don't care. Don't express frustration. Think back to when you started. I know. It's more important to show the gaps between the blocks and how each block is powered and has short circuit protection. So I only have 2 circuit breakers that feed each of my 2 bus lines. I don't have circuit protection on each block, but anyway, yeah, I have no interest in scratch building. I can't get her to answer, Mike. Who you asking her? Were you asking me a question, her, or somebody else? Dennis, I don't know. So one of the things that I need to do is prepare schematic drawings, right? So I pulled these drawings offline because these drawings are available, but they want you to do the drawing. So I am going to take this drawing and I am just going to trace over it and then submit it as my own drawing. There's turnouts that I have to do. I've got to do the wiring diagram for the double slip. What was your question, Dwight? I'm sorry, I missed it. I think there are enough categories. There are 11 categories and you need 7 of them. Some of them are pretty hard to get, so I don't know. So how many blocks is the Riverside transfer? So the Riverside transfer is 2 main bus line. Well, the Riverside transfer currently has, I guess, 3 bus lines on 2 breakers with multiple blocks, right? So the time saver is all on 1 circuit breaker and 1 block. So anything that happens over here doesn't shut down the whole layout. Anything that happens on this other part, though, will shut down the entire layout. The voltage I'm using for the layout is 15 volts. Oh, it's not on right now, but I've got an alpha meter over there that tells me my voltage. So I'm about 15 out of the. I'm pretty much 15 all around. I've measured it as 15 pretty much all around. So is there a gap between the time saver and the rest of the layout? No other gaps. No. So on this map that you see right now, every single color is a different block, but every block in like the DC sense of blocks. So every color is a different block. Even my time saver, each track on the time saver is also gapped. I just have them all running back to the same bus line. The main yard, right? So I think I showed, I've got this bank of 8 switches here, right? So I have a bus line coming out of the command station. It splits off. It goes to the time saver. It goes to the motorman. And then it kind of also comes to this switch bank. So off of this switch bank, it's got the 8. And then it goes on to this set of switches with the 3. And then it goes on to the staging with the sets of 6. My wiring is pretty complicated on the layout. Joey, if you can achieve that, please, please, please write a book on it. Because I think we all want to know. I think you have a different definition of the NMRA term block. A block is a section of the layout that is isolated electrically from all other portions of the layout. But at some point, they all have to go back to the command station. So I only have one booster on the entire layout. I don't have multiple boosters or multiple power supplies. So everything is off of the one booster. So from that point of view, I only have one power district, but that power district is split up into 2 circuit breakers, and those 2 circuit breakers are split up into 6, 7, 8, 9, 17, 18, 18 different sections that I can turn on and off, if that makes sense. Well, we may have to talk about this some more because maybe my wiring's not going to qualify. I don't know. I was going to add additional circuit breakers to it, but at $65 a pop, I just decided I didn't want to do it. Andy, my understanding is no, you would not be able to pass the electrical AP with dead rail. Booster to PSX or so to bus line. Okay, so then I have 2 blocks on my layout. So they say I need 5 blocks. So does that mean I need 5 circuit breakers? Hold on. I'm going back up to this part here. So it says here, if DC power, you need 5 blocks. If DCC, it doesn't state how many you need. You do not need 5 blocks. I have 4 at blocks. So at sign is above the 2. So okay, so I have 2 blocks. Okay. God, that would have been a bummer if I would have had to spend $65 just to get another circuit breaker. Okay, so I have to do this. Section 5, I have to do wiring diagram. So I have to do a wiring diagram of a turnout, wiring diagram of a double slip, and a wiring diagram of a 3-way. So I'm just going to basically copy over these and submit them as my own, because why reinvent the wheel? Yeah, I have 2 circuit breakers. The other thing that I need to do is, my other ones that I show are the LED indicators. So I just need to duplicate the wiring diagram for a tortoise switch, because that's what I'm using for my my LEDs. So here's the LED thing, and then here's the push buttons. So I just need to copy this. PTF flats are just an LED with a resistor and a battery. So I'm just going to copy this drawing. And I'm not sure exactly how to do a wiring diagram for the RGB tape light, but Yeah. I actually improved my layout's operations as I tried to complete this certificate. I found overlapping blocks and circuit breakers. How did you have overlapping blocks? Derek says, my last comment was chapter 1 of the book. I'm assuming he's talking about the other book. Late night, if she believed that there were mice and spiders in the basement, there's a good chance. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah. So I find it a little silly that I have to duplicate these wiring drawings, but again, that's one of the hoops you have to jump through. So I'm going to trace these wiring drawings and submit them. And then section 6 is submit a completed statement of qualifications, which should include the following. Attachment showing the track plan, description of the track work features, method of construction, and identification of commercial components. Oh, interesting. So I gotta write that up as well. I gotta add a little bit more more descriptions there. And then the main thing is the signed witness certification form showing that each of the above items are operational and meet all applicable NMRA standards. So hopefully the AP person for my division will get in touch with me and what? Dennis, I have no idea. I don't know. Some of the language they use. Jim, I got to tell you, I'm on the edge of my patience. I definitely don't have much for it. Splitter says, operating blocks were from having gaps in the rail where the gaps were not directly across from each other. Some were off by as much as an inch, but it was still wrong. Yeah, I guess technically you can't, yeah, technically your gaps would need to be lined up. But Loco Joe, didn't they say having kids would be fun? Derek says, Heath, it'd be easy for you. The toughest thing is getting over your reservations. And that's true. And Speed, Gert Mueller basically said the same thing to me. He basically said, you know, this would be, you know, it's not that difficult. The only reason why it's difficult for you is because you're so resistant to it, which is true. I mean, I've always been like that. I've always thought, you know, it's bullshit to have to jump through hoops to prove yourself to people. You know, I've always sort of just wanted to stand in, you know, being who I am is good enough, and I don't have to, you know, I don't have to be something else just to make somebody somebody happy. But you know, to get the NMRA certificate. Oh, I just realized I don't know that I need to do that. Let's do this. Okay, so there's a little switcher back there. If I'm not mistaken, ooh, 1:30 a.m. alarm. Yeah, my alarm's gonna go off at 5 or 5:30, which is way too early for me. Do it. If you want to do it, you do it. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. So my problem is, so the thing is, the reason I want to do it is because I want to change the NMRA for the better, and I can't change the NMRA unless I jump through their hoops to kind of, you know, become one of them, right? The only way I'm going to be able to update the language of the electrical AP is if I've done it the way it's currently set up and I get inside. So yeah, it kind of sucks, but you know, what the heck is the number on this locomotive? 9168 maybe? Locomotive 9168. Oh, that didn't work. It does this every once in a while where it's not showing that it's connected. It's not showing that it's connected. It's dropped its duplexedness. So I'm just gonna plug it in real quick. It'll reconnect to duplex channel, and there we go. Now I'm reconnected. Turn track power on. Track power is on. All my switches are on. You can see that. We're gonna go loco. What did I say? 9168? 91, and why aren't you doing it? 9168. So what I'm gonna try and do is take that locomotive and drive it basically back over to the thing. Andy, I have heard that there is somebody that was trying to become a director of the division, and they were essentially ignored. So I don't know how well it's going to work for me to, to get in there. But so we'll see. I'm probably going to have some issues. Crossover on a radius would count for what? It would probably count for something. Oh. So I had the switch thrown the wrong direction, which is why it shorted there. We're gonna... so none of the switches on this side of the layout are... none of the switches on this side of the layout are powered. They're all just manual switches. Let's see. It's hard to keep the locomotive in the frame. We'll try and... So I'll try and bring this guy over to the engine facility over here. He's going too fast. He's out of the frame. He's over there. So let's... Uh-oh. He was off the... And come on. There we go. This way. Uh-oh. Hold on. He got off the track somewhere. There we go. So now he should be coming into this siding here. Although, until I get a frog juicer on that three-way, for some reason, it's not happy. Come on. And now I'm just pushing it because... Why is it not working? Oh. So... So the reason it wasn't working is because earlier I had turned this off because I didn't want the power draw of these other locomotives, and this was the track. This is the power for these tracks, right? So if I flip this off, locomotive stops. So that's why it just wasn't running. So, yep. Yeah, Dennis, it's being an N-scaler definitely has its adventures. Yeah, and that's true. What Split Rock's saying is, you know, part of why I'm doing the electrical is because that's what I just finished, was the electrical on the layout. So that's why I'm gonna get it now. But so layout works mostly. Got to get a couple. Yeah, I need a pan-tilt zoom. Layout works. It runs. Things go forward and backwards. You can see when I shut off track power, all the lights go out. So that's a part of civil AP, loco storage, where you can turn off power. My understanding is you could use it on one or the other, but not both, or something like that. But anyway, I'm going to attempt to do this. I'm attempting to keep an open mind. I know I'm not doing a great job, but that's the goal. Going to Chicago tomorrow, going to operate on a layout this weekend. Hopefully I'll have some stories to come back to, but thanks everyone for being here tonight. Second Section podcast should be on tonight. Mike Rose is back with them. I forget exactly what the topic is, but it should be pretty interesting. And yeah, so Dennis, put a feather in your cap if that's what you want to do. And from the city that never sleeps, farewell, model citizens.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about